Once upon a ramen bowl in Tokyo. It all began in a cozy izakaya tucked away in the alleys of Shibuya, the kind of place where the air smells like grilled yakitori, hearts open with each sip of sake, and the owner's cat freely roams between tables. That's where Haruto Takeda, a smooth-talking Japanese jazz saxophonist, met Claire Matthews, a spirited, half-French, half-Scottish language teacher with a passion for manga and karaoke. Claire had just moved to Tokyo to escape the drama of London dating. Haruto was nursing a broken heart after his last girlfriend left him for a flamenco guitarist who only wore sandals, even in winter. Sparks flew when Claire belted out a pitch-perfect rendition of Bohemian Rhapsody, while Haruto accompanied her on sax. The entire bar clapped. The cat purred. And just like that, love and a little bit of mischief was in the air. Love, bento boxes, and a baby. Their romance blossomed like cherry blossoms in April. They were opposites, yes. Claire was chaotic, emotional, and obsessed with labeling everything in Japanese using neon post-it notes. Haruto was calm, introverted, and allergic to organization. Yet their love worked. They spent weekends exploring onsen towns, trying bizarre vending machine items, raw horse meat in a can, and bonding over late-night anime marathons. A year into their whirlwind romance, during a trip to Kyoto, Claire got tipsy on plum wine and screamed from a temple balcony, "I want your baby, Haruto." A group of elderly tourists applauded. Haruto, blushing furiously, whispered, "Okay, but let's talk after breakfast." 9 months later, Aiko Emi Takeda was born, a bouncing, bilingual baby girl with Haruto's musical talent and Claire's fierce personality. She could say no in both English and Japanese by the time she was 10 months old. Impressive, yet terrifying. The marriage, a beautiful mess. They decided to get married not with a big, traditional ceremony, but in their own way. Barefoot on a beach in Okinawa, with Haruto's jazz band playing and Claire's grandmother attending via Zoom, shouting, "Don't mess it up this time," through crackling audio. Marriage life was chaotic, but fun. Mornings were filled with Claire trying to make onigiri with peanut butter, a crime in Haruto's eyes, while Haruto tuned his sax at 6 a.m. Evenings were debates over whether Aiko should watch Doraemon or Peppa Pig. Claire insisted on Peppa because Doraemon has gadgets and no morals, while Haruto said Peppa was rude and loud, just like you when there's no Wi-Fi. Still, it worked. For a while. Cracks in the sushi roll. As Aiko turned 3, life got weird. Claire started a YouTube channel called Gaijin Mama in Tokyo, where she ranted about everything from getting stared at in supermarkets to why she thought Japanese toilets were better parents than most humans. Haruto, on the other hand, started taking longer gigs abroad, New York, Paris, Seoul. The distance grew, and not just physically. They began arguing over small things. Who left the rice cooker on, who forgot to buy diapers, who used Haruto's fancy miso paste for French miso soup, which was just miso and butter, Claire's invention. Aiko, now 4, once told her preschool teacher, "My parents love each other, but only when I'm asleep or at grandma's." The teacher gave Claire a very concerned phone call. Sushi splitting and sobbing. It wasn't one fight. It was a series of moments, like tiny drops of soy sauce soaking slowly into a rice cracker until it crumbles. One day, Claire came home to find Haruto had labeled all his jazz vinyls "Do Not Touch," even the ones they bought together. Claire retaliated by changing their Wi-Fi name to "Haruto is the Worst." He renamed it back to "Claire Snores Loud." It escalated to silent treatments, passive-aggressive bento box messages. "This miso is as cold as your heart." And finally, the dreaded, "We need to talk." The divorce was oddly smooth by Japanese standards. They agreed on joint custody. Aiko would spend weekdays with Haruto, whose mother was thrilled to play full-time grandma, and weekends with Claire, who'd moved into a quirky apartment above a cat cafe. Claire tried dating again once. She ended up with a guy who thought single mom meant she was desperate for attention. She left him mid-date and took the sushi with her. Haruto tried too. A fan of his music asked him out. But when she said, "Your ex is so dramatic online, I love it," he knew the date was over before dessert. Co-parenting shenanigans. Despite the divorce, Haruto and Claire were determined to raise Aiko in harmony. Sort of. Every handoff felt like a hostage exchange. Claire would hand Aiko over with a folder labeled Weekend Notes. She's addicted to seaweed snacks. Don't let her eat 5 in a row. She will turn green. Haruto responded with his own spreadsheet. Meal chart, music practice log, and emotional status updates. They communicated mainly through sticky notes and parenting apps. One day Claire wrote, "Can you tell Aiko that raccoons are not pets?" Haruto replied, "Can you tell her that French kisses are not a bedtime topic?" Aiko, of course, milked it. She told Haruto that Claire let her eat cake for breakfast, true, and told Claire that Haruto said she could have a pet squid, false, hopefully. A very Japanese reunion. 3 years after the divorce, something strange started to happen. Claire and Haruto stopped fighting. Instead, they began texting about parenting, music, and life. Claire's YouTube blew up. Haruto played sax in one of her videos as a joke. It went viral. Jazz Dad and Gaijin Mama was suddenly a thing. One summer, during the Obon festival, they took Aiko to Haruto's family shrine. Dressed in yukata, eating grilled corn and catching goldfish, Claire watched Haruto dance awkwardly in a summer parade and laughed so hard she cried. That night, they drank sake on a balcony, watching fireworks. Claire looked at him and said, "We were terrible at being married. But maybe we're good at this, whatever this is." Haruto smiled. "We're a duet, not a ballad. More like jazz, messy, unpredictable, but it works." Love, Japan style. So, are they back together? Nope. Not officially. But they co-parent like champions. They make videos, travel sometimes together for Aiko's sake, and even wrote a children's book called My Mom and Dad Live Apart But Love Me Together. It's been translated into 12 languages and features a raccoon named Larry, a tribute to Aiko's obsession. They still argue, but now it ends with laughter and shared sushi. Because in the end, love doesn't always mean staying together. Sometimes it means letting go with grace, laughing at the chaos, and dancing, badly, in the rain during Tokyo's typhoon season. Oh, and yes, Aiko finally got a pet. Not a squid, thank heavens, but a fat, spoiled Shiba Inu named Jazz. And every time Claire hears Haruto play on stage, she smiles and says to herself, "He may be my ex, but he'll always be my favorite mistake."